Good morning. Today is Wednesday, September 2019. Notice is hereby given of a special meeting for Commissioners Court of Grimes County, Texas, to be held today, again the fourth day of September at 9:15. We're in the Grimes County Annex Building at 114 West Buffington Avenue, Anderson, Texas. First item on the agenda is our Building and Maintenance Manager, Al Peeler. Consider and take action to approve funds and discretionary exempt under Local Government Code Section 262.024 for the purchase of a new chiller unit for Grimes County Courthouse. Mr. Peeler, would you come to the podium, please?
Al Peeler, Building Maintenance Manager. I provided you guys with 3 quotes and the local government code stating why reasons that I don't have to go out for competitive bid because it exceeds the expenditure of $50,000. The first one is it's an item necessary to preserve or protect the public health or safety of the residents of the county. The second one is an item necessary because of unforeseen damage to public property. To explain that a little better, the chiller provides AC and humidity control to the historical courthouse, and it would create damage to the courthouse if the chiller would go down and sit in our high humidity. Our 3 quotes, I went out and asked for everybody to give me a quote on 3 different chillers. The chillers on one, most of them come back that Carrier, Trane, and Daikin are anywhere from 6 to 12 weeks out. The only one is with CS Way Limited. They have a York chiller. It is immediate delivery. It's $104,896. I am down to 3. He puts in here that I'm running on 4 compressors. I'm running on 3. 2 of them are new, and one of the compressor is the oldest. I can limp that along for the 6 to 9 weeks. I'm pretty sure. I know that's not the word. Positive. Sorry, my mind's not. That I can run with them 3. I just have humidity control turned off right now, so we're not straining the chiller. The one that I suggest that we go with is Airtech Brazos Valley. The Carrier model seems to, it's a plug and play. The chiller lines will match up the best. We won't have to replumb any, I say any, but most of it will just plug and play. We won't have to do 90s like on the Daikin. We have to bring the 90 back around the chiller, and that's what adds the cost. On all these, every quote that I've got, I wanted a 10-year parts and labor warranty supplied by the equipment rep. So that means if their chiller goes down, it's their baby for 10 years. I want to go with this option. Carrier also has an aluminum fin copper tube condenser coil for the same price. That makes a big difference because a coil is just like a radiator, and it has tubes that run your refrigerant, your water, whatever you're doing. They are now in chillers now, they're using aluminum tubing, which is terrible because it saves the company money, but on the end result, it makes it more expensive for the user because if an aluminum tube gets a hole, you replace the whole coil. For me, that's terrible because I'm on a one chiller system and that means my chiller's down. There's no limping it along. With the Carrier, they're one of the only still doing the copper tube. And what that means, if I get a hole in the coil, I can braze that shut. I don't have to pull the coil. I can fix it. Aluminum, I can't. I have to take it out of there, send it to the shop, but I can physically braze up that copper tube in the chiller. Airtech has a past with Grimes County. We've hashed it out and they're ready to come back and perform at high standards for us. Malik was asked to provide a quote. They told me 2.5 weeks, and I said, well, you need it. It's been 2 weeks. I said, I need it. They just called Carrier for a quote on Friday. So I just can't do it.
Okay. If I can interrupt, one of the
Yes, sir.
things that I asked you was one, availability. And since we weren't down and you did have confidence that you could limp along, using your words, for 6 to 8 weeks, and hopefully we're getting into not a stressful weather time,
Yes.
that you thought you could make the system work for that period. So we wouldn't have to pay the premium of an extra $20,000 of something that's in somebody's yard ready to go right now. The second thing was that I asked you, what's the, as you're using your terms, what's your plug and play time? Could they come in on a Friday and start, or a Saturday and start, and having us operational, ready to go on a Monday? Because with us being limited to one courthouse and the annex, my concern was this can't be a 2-week project or something like that. Your comment to me, I believe you said, and it may have been the case with the others, but Airtech could come in and do it in a 3-day period, most likely.
Airtech, I talked to Airtech yesterday. Airtech said they'll have it in Friday, they'll have it running by Saturday.
Okay,
And if they need Sunday, that'd be great.
but they have, again, though, they have 6 to 8 weeks once we give them the go-ahead
Right.
to get the unit from Carrier.
They're gonna prime off-site, they're gonna get everything set up, bring it, remove the old chiller, put the new chiller in, boom. The only thing that might not be done until Monday of that next week is installation, and that isn't critical for the running of the chiller.
Okay.
I mean,
I asked Al to find that out because I thought that would be I thought that was important to the decision, whoever the provider is, that they can come in, that they would work a weekend, and that it's not a long drawn-out process.
Right.
Okay.
On the money figures, I know it's $80,210 is what I'm looking at. I've talked to Toledo and Mary. We have went over my budget. So at first, I will have to pay, and I don't know the percentage, but I have in my budget to pay the $50,000 this year, in this budget cycle.
And you're talking about the budget we're currently under.
The budget, the 219. I have that in my budget to do, that's to order the chiller.
Right, okay.
And any company that I've talked to has said, look, we can't just order an $80,000 chiller and not pay something.
So we still owe $30,210. Where will that come from?
I will cover that in my 2020 budget.
Okay.
If you remember a few months ago, I said I was waiting on a couple things to go down. This wasn't one of them. But one has went down, so I'm confident I'll be okay, and we'll be starting courthouse repairs here pretty soon. So that will help me out a little bit on that budget.
One more question and I'll be quiet.
Yes, sir.
The efficiency of this carrier unit compared to the efficiency of the current unit, do you feel like there's going to be a utility savings?
Yes. So maximum life on a chiller is about 20 years. We're at 19 or 17
Okay.
on this one. We've replaced 4 compressors, 4 motherboards, and they just keep going out. We have a problem in this chiller. That's gonna draw more amperage. This new one is gonna run like a Cadillac. It's gonna allow the control systems to do more with it. This one, now we're just limping it along, and the control systems can't be used at its full capacity because the chiller is older and it's not capable of doing what the controls
But
want.
our new control, our control system is relatively new,
Your
correct?
control system got put in the same time as the chiller, but that was one of the things that I got when I got employed by the county, was to upgrade and
Right.
update the control
Okay.
system. So the control system that you have in there now is not the one you put in there in 2002.
Right, okay. Anything else y'all want to know about chillers? Questions?
Judge, could I ask a question?
Certainly.
I'll hit on it. Keep in mind, of course, the idea is if you're ever spending more than $50,000, the taxpayer deserves the time for the court to go out for bids and to get the best deal. I think the discretionary exemptions are built in when that's not really feasible. And so I heard Al say it's because of unforeseeable damage. Just want to be sure that the court is saying to itself and confirming, this is a circumstance where we don't have the time or the ability to go out for bids here, and we want to utilize the exemption. Folks can certainly find fault because I wouldn't suggest this about Al. Let's just take a hypothetical person. If you had a relationship with the Ford place and you said, hey, we're out this car, we really need a car badly, and the person says, let's call Ford and they can get us something, there may be some impropriety there, and someone may question what's happening there. So that's the duty that you have, is to say, we believe this is an item necessary because of unforeseen damage to public property. If you're saying necessary to preserve or protect the public health or safety of the residents of the county, then you're asking how many residents of the county are using the facility. Well, we know some of them that work here. But the other thing I think is the unforeseen damage, saying we don't have time to go out for bids to get this repaired. Just keep that in mind if you make that decision. I would hate for somebody to have that question and you not be prepared to respond
Sure.
to that.
And I appreciate that. One of the issues, and you mentioned it, that you're not running the humidifier system.
Right.
And we worked on that in the spring of this last year because of Hurricane Harvey damage to the courthouse.
Right.
The humidity issue was absolutely atrocious. So we spent a fair amount of money getting that system,
40,000.
40,000 up, because of the damage to records, equipment and everything. I mean, literally, you pick up the paper in the morning, not the newspaper, but any of your text or what have you, and it would do this. And so I have a real concern about documents that we have stored over their records. So, but thank you for restating that,
Well,
John.
and you're right, the elections administrator's office houses certain records that are of significance over there. I think
Absolutely.
they continue to house some of the county clerk's records, if I'm not mistaken, and maybe I am, I don't know.
No, that is correct.
Yeah, so
Because we have a vault over there.
I want to be sure that that was
Sure.
voiced, essentially what the concern was.
Thank you for making that point.
On that note, though, I mean, I'm not, CS Way could have me one here tomorrow. And I think that's a little too much. It's 106,000.
Right.
And it doesn't, we have to make U-bends and all that. So I'm not picking the one that can do it immediately.
But But the point is, we don't need one. If the system was out, then we probably want to go with CES.
Yes, we would.
Okay.
But the damage to the property is imminent based on your assessment.
Yes, sir.
And I guess, let me ask one more question.
Sure.
It would be too much time to go out for bids, I think is what you're saying, right? That's
Yes, sir.
the problem here is that while it doesn't have to be done tomorrow, can't wait the requisite time for bids to come in, the opening of bids to go through that process. That's the concern anyway.
That's the concern, because even going this way, there's only one company that has a unit available today. The rest are gonna have to have them ordered, and we're talking about an additional 6 weeks to 8 weeks from where we're at right now.
Yeah.
Judge, if there's no other questions, I don't mind making a motion.
Sure, please.
Judge, I move that we approve funds with the appropriate discretionary exemption under local government code, section 262.024 for the purchase of a new carrier chiller unit for the Grimes County Courthouse from Airtech Brazos Valley.
Second. There's a motion before the court on agenda item number 1, seconded by Commissioner, there's a motion on the court by Commissioner Cox, seconded by Commissioner Mallett on agenda item number 1 to award to Airtex Brazos Valley the carrier model, which is an $80,210 expenditure. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Mr. Peter, I want to thank you for your research on this and your quick action.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I hope your wife gets better real soon.
Me too.
With that, move to adjourn.
Second.
Okay. That's the way you guys are gonna be. There's a motion before the court on agenda item number 2, Commissioner Mallett, seconded by Commissioner Dobianski to adjourn. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? We are adjourned.